Okay, so if you suffer from wrist pain or if you're having trouble with mobility issues with your wrist, here's a good exercise, all right? So we're gonna get on our hands and knees, okay? We're gonna spread our fingers out wide. Make sure our fingers are always wide. We're going to actually grip our fingers into the mat. That way it releases the tension off of our wrist. We don't want to be not gripping and pushing in, okay? We don't want to compound the wrist joint. We want the fingers to kind of lift up off the mat. We don't want to be putting all our weight in there. So we're going to go ahead and just spread them out. And we're going to go ahead and lean over as much as we can. And we're going to try to track our shoulders as far possible as we can, okay? And you'll find different positions more difficult, and those are positions you're going to need to work on. So, for instance, as I turn my hands in, I might find that a little bit more difficult, okay? As I face my fingers forward, that might be a little bit more easier. It just depends on where you're tight and what you're having issues with. Now, as I turn my hands, okay, obviously my wrist is not going to move in that direction as far, so don't expect to move my wrist sideways as far as I could go forwards like this, okay? Now, also, remember to go backwards. This is the one that's mainly the most, okay? So if you suffer from carpal tunnel syndrome, things like that, it's probably because your hands are locked in this position. So it's really up in that wrist joint that's causing you a lot of problems. A lot of people may have problems just simply doing this, okay? So what we can do is we can activate the situation until we can gain a position to where we can hold it long enough. Then we can start actively stretching it or passively stretching it for a certain period of time. Even if it's for 5 seconds, you can release, kind of shake out, and repeat the process. We would want to go at least for a minute if you can go that long or longer. And this one is actually backwards. I would shift backwards. You don't want your wrist to come up off the floor, all right? Make sure they stay planted. Okay, so part 2 of the wrist mobilization series. I did part 1 yesterday. This is part 2. So what we're gonna do here is same thing. I'm gonna spread my fingers out wide, okay? I'm gonna grip them into the mat, okay? I want to release the tension off my wrist, keep it on my fingers, all right? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make circles, all right? And I'm gonna try and make them as big as I can that my body allows me to do, okay? And you can simply just go for a certain period of time, right, and then a certain period of time, left, okay? Or you can count your circles, okay? I could do 30 seconds to the left, 30 seconds to the right, or I could do 20 circles to the right, 20 circles to the left, okay? The idea is to simply move around as much as I can and do not take my hands off the mat, okay? I want to make sure they stay nice, flat, and firm the whole time.